welcome back to the Wrestling Newsroom. I'm your host, All Things Wrestling, and today we're going to be looking at the wrestling news from Monday. We start with a very interesting story. Former WWE writer Kevin Eek recently appeared on Wade Keller's podcast and talked about how Baron Corbin needs to deliver in his match against John Cena at SummerSlam. He recalled his time in WWE and discussed how talents are judged based on their performances with Cena. He said, Cena will be very honest to his assessment of you. Dolph Ziggler, the first guy that comes to mind, when they had a singles program together in the beginning, John Cena was all for it. John wanted to work with Dolph, and they did it at a house show. They did a house show loop together, and as a heel, the heel traditionally calls the matches, and John was letting Dolph call the matches, and he wasn't impressed. And apparently, John gave his assessment to Vince, and Dolph and I think that sort of played into Vince's thoughts already about Dolph, and once that program ended, it ended rather abruptly because Vince told us in the booking meeting one day, God, I think we've done a disservice to John. This is bringing John down, and so Dolph was moved out of that program. Damn, it shows how much background influence John Cena actually has. I think he's got a lot better over the years, but I think he was quite bad in the early days. And now, a discerning story. Current WWE UK champion Pete Dunne has been pulled from this weekend, well, the weekend just gone, Progress shows due to an injury. He suffered a cut at Battle Pro event which required 11 stitches. The injury occurred above his left eye and he hasn't been cleared to compete for the rest of the weekend. Dunne was scheduled to face Jack Gallagher yesterday, I believe, but he couldn't do it. Best of luck, Pete. I hope you get cleared. You can do it, dude. And Chris Jericho appeared on SmackDown Live. Was a one-shot deal for now. Jericho was initially at the show to participate in segments for Southpaw Regional Wrestling and record an interview with Fandango for his podcast. During the interview, Jericho said the following: "That's actually why I'm here today, was to film that show, Southpaw, and to talk to you guys. Now I've got him roped into having a match." It just sounds like WWE though. You're here, get in the ring. Oh, funny. And during an interview with Newsweek.com, NXT Women's Champion Asuka teased heading to the main roster. She said, I'm going to take over and beat Ember Moon and keep my title, then I'll probably go to Raw or SmackDown and get another title. Please, Asuka. She can hold everything. Let her win everything. And we have another UFC fighter calling out Brock Lesnar. Former UFC and current Bellator heavyweight Matt Mirion, I don't really care, recently called out Brock Lesnar in an interview with the Pat McAfee show. I don't know, I don't care. I would beat the fucking brakes off Brock Lesnar. There's no question about this whatsoever. He would never fight me. He would fight John Jones because he would think he can take John Jones down. He would never fight me. I've been asking to fight Brock Lesnar since the day I went to the Ultimate Fighter. On the Ultimate Fighter. If you think that dude's an athlete, go suck a dick. That dude's not an athlete. He's a giant body. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to move straight on. And an unsurprising story. Angelina Love announced her departure from from Impact Wrestling / GFW, whatever you want to call her, because Davey Richards left, I'm going to assume, to be fair. She said on Twitter, I asked for my release from Impact Wrestling and was granted it today. Thank you for the years of fun and much love to all my fans. Bye-bye. And Ryan Satin of ProWrestlingSheet.com is reporting that Ric Flair was hospitalised for heart-related issues. Flair was apparently taken to the ICU after being admitted by his family, but his management team hasn't confirmed the details. Ric Flair's rep released a brief statement saying, yes, Rick checked into the hospital for routine monitoring. No, there's no reason to panic. Yes, we'd like to thank his fiancée and his incredible hospital staff who are providing best care. No, we cannot answer any personal questions. Yes, Rick would want you to go out and have a great weekend at Nature Ball style. We do have an update to this story. His representative, Melinda Morris, I don't know, said he's dealing with some tough medical issues and pray for him. And then, according to Jimmy Van of Fightful.com, source close to the situation is claiming that Ric Flair was in a medically induced coma as of, I think, today. Please pray for Ric Flair. Please. This is an appeal to all of you. Please pray for Ric Flair. I am praying for Ric Flair. And there's a few, like Natalia, Mick Foley, even Vince Russo gave a note praying for Ric Flair. I'll keep you posted. And while on the Chris Jericho podcast, Nia Jax reflects on her conversation she had with Vince McMahon. Vince is like the big dog. He owns a company. You hear? Oh, do this. Do that because Vince likes it. So one day I walk into his office, grabbing some balls of mine and saying, "Hey, Vince." She thanked him for the opportunity he had given and wanted to know what he wants her to do in the division. He said, "You're like the Andre the Giant of females. You're going to take a lot of these girls to take you down. You're a killer. You're strong." He told her they're going to need to take her down and she's going to need to stay strong. Fair enough. We like it, Nia. We like it. Now, Kevin Owens issued the following statement on Twitter regarding the violence on Saturday's... I actually had it. Charlottesville riots, I believe it is. I don't know too much about the story, but I'm just going to read his statements. Hit 1 million followers today, so I want to take this opportunity to say something. I've been pretty out of the loop in these past few days and only found out about what transpired in Virginia late last night. It happened Saturday. I have to be honest, this time I'm almost speechless. What happened is beyond disgusting and sickening. Racism and bigotry is wrong. That's all there is to it. I'm sad and concerned that my children are growing up in a world like this. All I can say is that my wife and I will do what we can to ensure that our children are part of the solution, not the problem. I really hope anyone out there does the same. Let's try to make the world a better place. Let's love each other. Let's not be pieces of shit to each other. Good luck. I don't know too much about the situation, but something about Trump saying something, and I actually don't know. Can someone fill me in, please? But anyway, if it is about bigotry and racism, it is wrong. Seriously, absolutely disgusting if that is the case. Let's move on because I don't want to say anything else I don't know about. And former WWE star Johnny Mundo is expected to be making his television debut with GFW in the near future. He appeared at a live event last weekend and will not be appearing at the upcoming convention in California due to his contractual agreement with GFW. The convention date happened to conflict with the next weekend's Impact Wrestling tapings. Somebody's going to be on TV soon. And MMA fighter Arjan Singh Bolher, I think, announced on Instagram that WWE champion Jinder Mahal will be accompanying him to UFC 215 event September 9th. Here's what he wrote. When we as people can generally support each other amazing as possible, I'll be able to watch the Maharaja do a thing in Vancouver, and now I'm excited to announce WWE champion Jinder Mahal will be taking time away from his busy schedule to accompany the team for my debut fight in his home province of Alberta. They're breaking kayfabe. He's from India, not from Canada. Come on, guys, you can't tell us he's not from India. Shout out to the boss, Dana White, for hooking up the VIP treatment. There's some dodgy deals going between WWE and UFC right now, isn't there? There already is. And WWE announced that SummerSlam will be returning to Brooklyn for the 4th straight year for SummerSlam next year. Good, I like it in Brooklyn, it's not bad. And this is a massive story. Indie wrestler Will Ospreay issued the following statement on his social media page. I ask all of you to help share this message and help build awareness that it's not okay to do to your roster promo wrestling fans and people that work 9 to 5 only one. For some of you may be aware, I'm over in New Zealand for a small holiday. In the meantime, I'm wrestling to help out some other promotion and build a bit of buzz. I feel like I've achieved that with my work with MCW, PWA, SPW, -- NZ. While over here, I've met some awesome people and found out about the company called UCW, Ultimate Championship Wrestling, ran by Matt Douchery, who runs events through Reckless Events, who is planning on running a show with WWE star Mick Foley. I have heard from boys that he is a decent guy and pays great money in dishing out contracts. Naturally, I've become interested as I've not heard of New Zealand wrestling and contracts in the same sentence. So interested I was because I'm really serious about helping out the Australian and New Zealand wrestling scene. I asked for a meeting to help him out. After a few drinks, we came to agreement that I would come on board and help out the training, wrestling and lending areas of acknowledgement. Now I've been wrestling a short time, but I know the business. I know if a promoter requires talent on their shows, a wage is negotiated after the duties of the talents complete. Their wages are handed over, no matter what the attendance is, whether it's 5 people, 50 people, 500, 5,000. A wage is a wage. Agreement is an agreement. Because of the show not selling as well as the UCW predicted, UCW cannot afford to pay members of talent, even though that man has gotten some of them under contract to say he will pay them. After being a victim of promoter promising to host events for wages and pulling out and leaving me with no work, 5-star wrestling, this man agreed a wage with the wrestlers, wrestled the show and not provide the talent with their wages. Now, because talent has called him up on no payment, he has terminated these contracts when they are more than entitled to have full payment. Now, normally I don't want to get involved with this, it's none of my business, but for a wrestling scene to grow, stuff like this should not be happening. It should be made aware of to the public that your money to watch these guys sacrifice their body for your entertainment, these wrestlers are not being compensated for their 9 to 5. So as a wrestler, I'm angry that this stuff is still happening and should be shared among all of you. Now, I would not recommend putting your money off faith towards Ultimate Championship Wrestling or Matt Douchery. He's now Matt Douchery. I hope this gets back to Mick Foley for the sake of the business. If he refuses to work for a company that does this to guys, he'll be the ones growing New Zealand wrestling. I've attached photos of the contract that he sent to talent to sign, the promotion logo, and a photo of the man I met in the board to talk business with. I haven't actually got them. I haven't even got a stage where he wants to pay me from an American bank account, so I wouldn't have to pay tax. I refused. Oh, he said I haven't got to the stage where he wanted to pay me through an American bank account. That's what he wanted to do. Seriously, you can't not pay somebody for it. That's ridiculous, Matt Douchery. Okay, granted, if you told them before the show, I don't think we're going to have the money to pay you, just go. Just leave. I'm not going to pay you. But to make them wrestle and then not pay them, that is disgusting. Matt Douchery, UCW, fuck you. Seriously, share that, please. Just, if you want to take that, just find Will Ospreay's post, share it, please, for the sake of the wrestling business. This should not be happening in 2017. And this is a really interesting story. GFW has concluded its internal consideration of events surrounding the suspicion of Alberto Alpatron. While it appears that the initial reports unfairly characteristically Alberto Alpatron's involvement in the Orlando airport were nonetheless disappointing with the manner in which he dealt with the situation. We expect more did come from all the GFW roster, especially the world champion. We have communicated with Alpatron and a decision to strip him of the World Championship. No decision has been taken as of to the day of which he will be reinstated to the roster, the conditions of which are a private matter between the company and Alpatron. So we don't even know when he's going to be back. We do have a little bit of an update. It's believed that the Orlando airport incident wasn't the only factor in the decision to strip him. He apparently had other backstage incidents at GFW tapings that were not made public but were known by people within the company. With GFW set to tape almost 3 months worth of Impact shows later this week, the fear of another incident happening, the decision was made to not risk having Alpatron as champion. He's a dick. Straight and foremost, he's a dick. And I think we have the last story, thank God. Jay Lethal recently did an interview with Cult of Whatever, and here's a few personal highlights. If WWE have ever contacted him, no, I've never had any talk with WWE. As far as I would one day like to wrestle for WWE, my love of professional wrestling when I was a young kid was created and developed by my love for WWF. At the time, now WWE, I definitely think it would be cool at some point in my career to step foot in a WWE ring. I could say I wrestle for the company that helped shape my love for the business. If it happens, it happens, but it won't be the end of the world if it doesn't happen. Fair enough. And with working with CM Punk and Samoa Joe, calling my matches with Samoa Joe and CM Punk a learning experience would be an understatement. It was me going a full year of school. Within one match, those guys were at the top of their game, and then now they never really slowed down other than Punk stopping wrestling and Daniel forced to stop. Joe taught me more than anyone I could ever imagine and more than anybody would know. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, this has been the news. I do hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed this on Facebook, where I'm starting to put this on as well. But as always, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please support me on Patreon, a link in the description below. Please subscribe to see more content. Even the Facebook people, please go over to YouTube. There's a lot more content for you. Yeah, and I'll catch you later.